Is that the range on AUDJPY? Please, 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 please. God. God. AUDJPY looks like it's ranging, man. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's about to range. Oh, come on. Keep dropping, keep dropping. That's it, that's it. Keep coming. That's it. Come on. Oh boy. The main man himself, Simon, as well.
Good morning, everyone. Just going to wait a few minutes just to let a few more people join. We're a bit early yet, so.
Hey, Simon.
Hey, Andrea. How you doing?
Yeah. Fine, you?
Good, good. I just said, just give it a couple of minutes. It's not quite 10 o'clock yet.
Yeah. No rush.
Do you want to start with, do you want me to, so you can share your screen? So we can.
Oh, well, it's not a big deal, honestly.
All right, no worries.
It's just to talk about market structure, so we can even look at your charts.
Sure.
Perfect.
Do you want any particular chart open?
Well, this one is very good for me.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Chat open.
GJ is pushing, huh?
Yeah. It's, to be fair, when I look at it now, it's pretty obvious. You look on this chart I've got here, we had this 1 hour support. It broke through this morning here.
Yeah.
Retested and up we go. Yeah, 148.30. I'm interested in see what it does there.
Yeah.
Still looking at the daily. I'm not convinced it's going to break that level, but let's wait and see.
Yeah. And you know what? On this chart, we had all the material for the webinar on your chart here.
Yeah.
It was the 1 hour. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's make a start. We've got 30 people here. It's 10 o'clock. This is being recorded, so we'll upload it later on today. Anyone that's missed it or has to drop off, no problem. You'll be able to watch it back. So Andrea and myself decided to do this just because we get lots and lots of questions on Instagram, Telegram about quite often the same sort of things. So we thought it'd be a good idea just to do this webinar to kind of explain what we're seeing, how we go about analyzing the markets, and hopefully give you a better idea of what you should be looking for. So Yeah, so now, as you know, most of you already know, GJ is my pair of choice. That's the instrument I trade the most. It's one of the most volatile pairs there is to trade, so it can be wild, to say the least. You've got to be very careful about picking your entries and your stop losses, because you can see on the size of some of these wicks on this chart here, you can get stopped out if you don't get prime entries. All right, so Andrea, do you want to talk a little bit about market structure?
Yeah, sure. So we can basically what we are looking for on a chart in general, and in this case we have this perfect chart that Simon drew here. We look for basically for zones where the price reacts the most, and basically what we see here, for example, we can see the black lines that are levels where the price stays and got rejected or break and retested. So those are very important for our trading and for our strategy in general. I don't like to call it strategy, because basically it's like you look at chart, and if you can spot these zones, you already know where and what kind of trade you will take. So I guess the first thing to know is how to draw these lines, okay? And basically here, what Simon did is like to see where the price reacted the most, and to go into the weeks basically, and you can spot different places. First of all, if you start from the bottom, you have 147 level, where if you look at if you look left, like you got a lot of rejection there. So there you go. So if you look at how price first came in to this level, got rejected the first time. Maybe I can draw something. Nope. By the way, here on the left, then we broke above, retested it, and started to go up. So this is basically the first zone we had. So in order to draw it, this is pretty simple. It's pretty obvious, okay? It doesn't require a lot of practice, honestly, because zones has to be obvious, okay? You don't need to swing with several time frames and from 1 minute to weekly to spot zones, okay? Basically, higher time frame zones are the most important and most obvious zones. So you can spot them directly from a H4, H1 daily chart, and the higher the time frame, the more important is the zone. So I personally suggest to start from daily.
Yeah, so just on that, so I've just marked this daily zone like Andrea's talking about, right? So always start your analysis from the higher time frames, okay? So you can see this is now a strong zone because we've had, can I annotate in here? Because we've had these wicks in here. We've had this wick that tapped into it again, and then we've had this one, and then we had this one as well. So we know that is a strong zone. So if price comes in here, there's a high probability that it's gonna reject it, okay? So that's a good example of a higher time frame zone. And then use the same logic and the same drawing method on the lower time frames, okay? So if we drop down to the 1 hour, you're probably going to see more Okay, so like, let's draw a few on here. Now, the question I get a lot is how do you, or how big do you make your zones, or do you do them from the wicks to the closes? It's kind of subjective, right? It's kind of up to you. You need to kind of come up with a system and stick with it. So if price comes into that zone, are you looking to buy, are you looking to sell? You need to have an idea when these zones are being entered, exactly what you're looking to do, because otherwise they're kind of useless. So I'm just gonna, Andrea, are you able to annotate? Do you want to draw some zones on here to explain to people what?
Yeah, sure. I guess okay. So, for example, let me check. Okay, if you go on this time frame and you have to spot other zones, for example, you see rejection, for example, like here, and then another good zone could be like here. So these are pretty obvious. Okay, it's like you had, especially this zone 144.5 and 145.5, something like that. You have an 100 pip zone where you can find your entries. And okay, if you then we got a question about the time frame. What I suggest is, like, if you for example scalp, honestly, you won't find so useful to go on a monthly chart. Okay, I mean, it's good, but it's too high in my opinion.
Yeah, weekly time frame. The zones are just too big. Like, you could take an entry in a weekly zone, and you could get your stop would have to be huge potentially, because the zone is just going to be so big. So what you want to do is create your zones on like 4-hour, daily maybe, and then come down the time frames to narrow those zones down.
Yeah, and if you go down, for example, in this time frame, you will see probably a sort of zone like that split your major zone, and so in this 30-40 pips range you can get your entry. What I suggest, even if you scalp for 10 pips or 20 pips, you should have a zone at least with at least 20-30 pips where you can get out 10 pips from it. Because if you have a zone, I see, a lot of people maybe join zone on M15, M5, but then they have zone 12 pips zone and they want to grab 10 pips out from it. So it's quite impossible, because you have spread. You could have not a good entry, for example. And so what I want to do, I want to find literally at least 30 pip zones where I can go for my entries and my take profits. Like 10, 15, 20 pips are fine. So basically this is how I trade. And yeah, if you look the rejection that Sam is drawing right now,
this is a zone, right? So we popped into this zone, and you can see it's sold off from that zone. So you've got to look back in history, right? Always look left. Look how prices reacted in these zones previously. So let's just clear this off, clear all drawings. So you can see here, it popped into the zone, sold off. Okay, forget that. It's broken through. It's broken through here. Again, it's popped up into that zone, rejected. Okay, we've broken through here, then we've retested here. Boom, it's gone up. Okay. And we've got these wicks here, still testing that zone. Okay, broken through, not to worry, forget that. Comes up again, it's looking at that price area. It's come through, down, back up, again, tapped into that price zone there. So the probability of it doing something in there is high. So that's what we've just seen. So, we could have been looking for a sell here. I don't know what the, let's have a look. How many pips would that be? Yeah, so you've easily got 10 pips scalp there on that rejection already. So, I mean, my bias, I can't get rid of these drawings. Clear all drawings. Okay. My bias on the daily, and we spoke about this earlier, Andrea, was that I still am seeing bearish for GJ. I feel like this daily candle has just gone up to create a top wick, grab some liquidity to come down. So I'm seeing, again, it's tapped into this zone. You can see that I marked up that 30 area, and it's falling back down. 148 is a major level, obviously. Just looking back in time, we can see that it's easier if I just mark it on here. So we pumped up to 149.50, nearly 150, rejected. Then a couple of days ago, we tried to break 149.50 again, rejected with that wick. We rejected 148 yesterday and fell pretty hard. Okay, it's found some support down here just above 147, and again we've pushed back up today. But again, this level is pretty key. It's a bit of a line in the sand for me. If it stays below 148.30, I think the bearish momentum should continue. If we get above that 148.30, then we could be going back to test 149, 149.50. So that's kind of the logic behind the zones. But these zones, you've got to, it might take a bit of practice, but I said to someone the other day in the group, you know, someone said, how do you draw these zones? You've got to, Andrea touched on it, you've got to look for key wicks and key rejections within these zones. So I pointed out in this zone, we've seen quite a few wick rejections, quite a lot of reaction within that zone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And what I wanted to say is that, for example, if you take trade based on your zones and you trade, for example, the first touch, I guess 80% of the time you are right.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Absolutely.
So what people don't understand is like everyone is looking for a super complicated strategy. But then, if you can stick at support and resistance, you can be profitable within 2 months, honestly.
Yeah. So let me give you a good example. And this chart I was looking at, and I traded this the other day. Okay, so this is the daily time frame on GBP CAD. Okay, zoom out a little bit. So let's do it here. So here you go, strong level. Strong level. So what do you think was going to happen if it hit it again there?
No.
Bounced, right? So me personally, one of my strategies is I don't wait for confirmation. If I see these strong daily support, because that's what this is, this strong support level, if I see these areas coming tap, I'll take buys here. Okay, so if you took buys here, what we got? That's nearly 100 pips bounce. Now, if you're scalping, which me and Andrea do the majority of the time, you got your 10 pips there and some. So the strategy that I use is I'll open multiple positions. Okay, so once I've got my 10 pips, close some and leave the rest to run. Like, these are the kind of trades you want to be looking for, these strong daily levels.
Yes, and if you go for example, on euro dollar yesterday, if you go on the daily chart,
yeah,
we had a similar thing.
Yes. Let me just clear.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious support, and we had I guess a 90 pips bounce, something like that. I took an entry, but I only scalped it. But yeah, the principles are the same. So
yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. Look, it's keep it simple. It's so simple. Support and resistance, right? Now you're here, and I used to be the same. You'll hear so many people saying, oh yeah, wait till it comes to support, wait for a confirmation candle, then take your entries. Well,
Yeah.
if you do that, okay, so what would you have done here? So it hit the zone. Is that your confirmation candle? Well, it's already moved 30 pips. So then where are you going to put your stop? If you're waiting for that confirmation candle, where are you going to put your stop? Realistically, your stop needs to be down here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a 40 pip stop. And then, yes, you get your 1-to-1, but you don't know that at the time, right?
Yeah, and remember,
you've got to be looking to take these high probability setups. You take your entry here.
Yeah.
You can take a 5 pip stop, 10 pip stop. You've got the risk to reward.
yeah, and what I want to say about that is that, first of all, if you have a stop, the higher the stop is, the higher the take profit must be. So I don't want to stay in the markets for days or because it's risky, honestly. So basically, if you go on euro dollar daily chart, and we talked about support and resistance and the 80% of the time profitable strategy. If you look at this, I can annotate something. If you look this was your first trade, okay, because this is a obvious level. Second one, so profitable, you took a loss, maybe here profitable, and for sure profitable. So you have like 5 trades, 4 win and 1 loss. And keep in mind that, as Simon said, if you are at support, your stop loss is very tight, so no huge losses, okay? So for example, in this case, already this strategy worked, okay? So, and literally here, Simon drew 1 line and took a trade based on that line. And I get asked a lot of times about the confirmation. For me, the confirmation is my line, okay? So if I'm good at drawing lines, so support and resistance, I trust them. And honestly, what I can see is that when I approach that area, I took a similar trade this morning on EJ, for example. When I approach that area, my line, I entry. Whether the candle, I don't mind the candle, honestly. Maybe I start on the 1 minute, 5 minute to see something, but I don't wait, for example, a 15-minute candle rejecting that level. Because honestly, then it can go down once again, and then can play games around that level. So I want to take the first touch every time. Yeah. And it's not so complicated as you can think right now.
So yeah, you can see like it's about confidence, right? Because when you're watching this move happen here and it's trending down and this is like strong bearish momentum, okay? When you just think, even though you're coming into this level, you're going to be thinking, oh, I don't want to take this because I think this is going to continue down. But you got to be so confident with these daily levels because they're so strong. So this is the problem. A lot of traders, new, some old, they don't like to count a trend, right? But these, honestly, these support and resistance levels are just so simple, and they work, like Andreas said, 80% of the time, support and resistance. And this happens on all time frames, okay? So not just daily. These daily ones are strong. You're likely to get more pips if it's a daily level, but they happen on, you know, hourly, 4 hourly, 15-minute. If you're inclined, 1 minute, 5 minute, they happen on every time frame. But daily 4 hour, these are the strong zones. These are the ones you want to be identifying and taking buys off these wicks. Okay, so support and resistance, guys, again, it's a little bit subjective. You will need to practice and practice and practice drawing your lines. Some people, let's just use this as an example. Some people draw support and resistance like on the closes, not on the wicks, okay? So some might have their resistance there, some might have it on the body here. So all I say is, whatever you do or however you do your support and resistance, just make sure you consistently do the same thing and just keep trading that over and over. I will always say use the wicks, because the wicks are what show you the true rejection, okay? So wicks tell a story. You're here, you know, wicks don't lie. He's our guy. He invented wicks don't lie, right? And he invented it for a reason, because these wicks always tell a story. Okay, yes, wicks are key, exactly, I found.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, I know you have tons of questions, but please, let's get through at the end of the webinar, because really I can't read all of that questions. I simply say, yeah, the last one, I was stopped out yesterday on EU. Yeah, I was stopped out too, honestly, because I was stopped out for 1 pip at the first entry. But if I know that this is the best level I can draw, okay, so I re-entry, honestly. I always try to trust my analysis. So this was an obvious support. So yeah, I got stopped out with the first week, but then I immediately re-entered, and yeah, and I was profitable because honestly, yeah, weeks don't lie, and also support and resistance don't lie.
Yeah.
So
EU, I took buys, but I didn't take these buys. I took these buys.
No, yep.
Because that, again, if you look on the 4 hour, that was another level, yeah, another support level. So I managed to get buys, and I think I took like 15 pips or something, yeah, out of here. So again, 2 strong levels, but ultimately this was the best one, and this was potentially the reversal level. Okay?
Yeah, 90 pips, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And if you say, sorry, on the 5 minute you had.
Yeah.
Guys, really take screenshot, whatever you want, because this is so clear. Simon drew these lines, and if you, I annotate, if you miss this move, look at it. Break of the zone, retest, and then push up. So you had a lot of chance to enter this trade, okay? And so honestly, and look at it, if you enter here, for example, because you weren't sure about the right support, okay, here your stop is 10 pips here, so you would have been safe already, okay, maybe with a little drawdown. So if you place your zone correctly and you enter even not a perfect entry, you are still profitable, okay? Because honestly, the most important thing is that you draw your lines, and if you see weeks on a particular zone, draw your lines, and 8 out of 10 of times you have the right line, you have the right support and resistance.
Yeah, and it's just worth saying, obviously, these lines are, you know, to the wicks on here. Price isn't always going to be exact, okay? So it's not always going to stop exactly on that line. So you need to give yourself a buffer. So that's where you need to figure out your risk strategy. Are you going to risk 10 pips? Are you going to risk 20 pips? If you take your first entry, you get stopped for 10 pips. Are you going to re-enter? These are all the kind of things that you need to think about. So you might not get the best entry. For instance, let's just go back to this 5 minute chart. So say you entered, so you're looking at this level. Say you entered here and you only had a 10 pip stop, okay? Okay, so 10 pip would be okay there. What I'm trying to get at is, if you get your entry wrong, if you're in too early, do you get stopped out for 10 pips and then say, oh no, I lost, I was wrong? Or then do you see, oh, actually, price is starting to move now, do you re-enter? Probably not on this instance, because you haven't got the risk reward, okay? But like this, like Andreas said, these kind of setups, these break and retest that we see on every time frame, okay? So it broke out with this strong bullish candle here, came back to retest this level that we talked about, and then continued. So that kind of moves on to the next segment of the webinar that we've tried to structure, is the break and retest. Okay, I just want to show you one clear example that happened this morning on GJ, and it's easy to see afterwards. So again, so this was clear support. Okay, everyone agree? Yeah, I can see nods. Okay, so this candle, if any of you watch Raja Bank's Twitch, watch us Forex family traders on the live webinars, this is the gladiator candle, okay? So this candle closed above all of these candles, right? And above this level. So we now expect bullish momentum to continue, right? So it came up, came back down, retested this level, you take buys, right? How many pips is that? 60, 40, 60 pips?
Yes, 60.
Does that make sense? So these break and retests happen all the time. And these are the trades that have got such high probability of success. You've just got to learn to identify them. So I now can look at a chart and see this happening, okay? Don't get caught up on what you think's happening down here. So you might be thinking, oh yeah, this is coming down. Don't get caught up in that. Get caught up in what's happening in the now, okay? And that was a clear break and retest. So I've got a little PDF here that I'm gonna just pull onto the screen. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is just a document I put together, and literally took me 10 minutes over the weekend. I suggest you guys go away and try and do the same. Pick any pair, doesn't matter. I've done this on GBP, JPY, and Euro USD just to show you that it happens on everything, okay? Good exercise for you all to go away, pick a pair, any pair, and see if you can identify these happening. Now, so this is the 4 hour on GJ. This was what, September, so not too long ago. So here we go. So we had resistance formed on the 4 hour. This again, gladiator candle, broke through. Yeah. Then it consolidated for a bit, retested, and up it went. Now this is 4 hour basic. Remember, this is 4 hours, so this is going to be a lot of pips, okay? And then again, another, so it formed that resistance again, another gladiator candle, broke through. You had to wait a little bit. Potentially you could call that the retest, but the true retest, or the better retest, was down here, okay? Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's nearly a whole day there. But look how strong that that support held. You would have been in the trade for a while, but then look at it. Okay, so that's on the 4 hour. Let's go to, let's just come down to the next one. Okay, 1 hour on GJ, okay? So again, strong level of resistance formed here. broke through this candle, and then this second candle retested down here, and then wow, look at that. Okay, then again resistance formed. Now again, as you can see, like this resistance isn't exact. Okay, so this is where you've got to be careful, because yeah, it's popped through. That's a fake out. Okay, this candle here is a fake out. Then it's come back down. And then this is probably some sort of news, spiked up, but you can see again, it's respected that level and come back down. Okay, so back into here, this is all consolidation, right, around here. Then we've got the gladiator candle here, broken through, retested, and off it goes. Okay, so it broke through this level, then we got a retest here, and off it goes again. Okay, right, that's 1 hour. So what I'm trying to say is you get these on every time frame. Okay, whichever time frame you're trading. Same thing again. I'm not going to draw on it because it should be pretty obvious by now. Okay, obviously bear in mind whichever time frame retest you're trading. 4 hour, you're likely to get a lot more pips than if you're trading on 15-minute. Yeah. Here we go. This is a really nice one. Resistance, strong resistance, break through, retest, off it goes. Again, break, retest, off it goes.
Yeah, and if I can say something, don't be afraid about losses, honestly, because when I explain this to people, it's like, okay, but you see, for example, you see this spike, I got stopped out. Okay, no one can be right 100% of the times, so it's good to take losses. And I always say, if for example I trade a breaker retest or a bounce on a level, if for example I'm buying support, okay, and I lose the trade, I'm fine, because I did the right thing at the right time. Okay, so for example, I remember 2 days ago or something, yeah, weeks don't lie, lost 3 trades, break and retest, and he said I'm fine because I will take this trade every day, every time. And so if you are consistent on your setups, you don't have to be afraid if you got stopped out. For example, on that euro dollar bounce or another, for example, break and retest, if I get stopped out, I'm fine because this is the right setup. So I'm not afraid to re-enter the trade. And so I'm not afraid to believe in my analysis, because you can prove yourself with time that you are right in your analysis. So stick to your analysis and don't be afraid of losses, because no one can trade a setup without a loss. So that's important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is recently on Euro. So this is all pretty simple stuff. It was consolidating again in this box for a long time. I think like a few days. We finally got the break on this candle. This candle retested it and continued. So, and this is what you got to look at. Look at the, if you're taking these break and retests, okay, so if you're selling here on the retest, where are you going to put your stop? Like here? You've got such good risk to reward on these trades. Look at that, probably like 10 pip. You could even get away with a 5 pip stop, depending on the pair you're trading, right? Some pairs are a bit more wild than others. If you were trading UJ or something, you could probably put like a 3 or 4 pip stop, but 10 pip stop, and look at the reward. This is what you've got to be looking at, these risk to reward trades, and don't be afraid to enter. Like Andrea said, if you don't enter here, and then you're like, oh, okay, it starts moving, and you enter down here. Your stop's going to have to be up here, and then your risk to reward is halved. Okay? So you've got to be taking these. If you miss it, fine. That's it, done. You missed it, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
If you miss the retest, do not try and enter down here.
Yeah, and you have to be confident in your analysis and your levels. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, so if you take these retests when they happen, the risk to reward is going to be great. If you take them after they've happened, then you're taking a risk that you're not going to have the risk to reward, and it could come back and stop you out. So you've got to take the, you know, one of the guys we trade with every day, Toby, he says a lot, trade the edges, okay? And what he means by the edges is these, whoops, he means the very tops and the very bottoms, okay? So basically support and resistance. Take it at the bottom, so where support is, not after it's bounced and halfway up. So, you know, so on this chart, for instance, you got support here, okay? So this is an edge, right? So you take a buy here on support, fantastic. You don't take a buy here after you've seen the candle do that. Okay, in this instance, fine, because it's breaking out, but you need to be trading these edges. You trade these edges, you're getting such a small stop down here, and the reward is so much stronger.
Yeah, and let's say, sorry, that about this one, for example, this entry, everyone talk about confirmation and stuff like that. I just say, if I'm down to trade support and resistance, honestly, what I do here is this. So if I found the level here, I enter right on the week.
Yep.
Okay, so I don't wait, honestly.
No.
Because my strategy, if my strategy is okay, this one is the trade we are in, so once we reach the level, I enter. I got a minimum stop, and then what happened happened. So honestly, I don't wait for confirmation, because if not, look at this 1 hour. What's your confirmation? No confirmation, because shoot up immediately. Mm-hmm. So honestly, it's like yeah, it's a sort of pending. I don't use pending, but it's a sort of that once we reach the level, I enter. That's it. And
Precious.
This is the case I was talking about. If I lose this trade, I'm fine. I bought a support. I'm fine.
Yeah. So precious, by edges we mean basically support or resistance. So not exactly where support and resistance is. Okay. So so is that pretty clear? These break and retests, guys, is pretty. I mean, it's the same over and over again. Okay. It's all the same. Like I said, every time frame it happens, you'll find them on a daily, 15-minute, 30, every time frame. So whichever time frame you're trading, you will find them. Okay, so let's just to explain what I mean by edges. Okay, so these support lines, resistance lines, these are my support. Okay. So these, if you're looking to buy, if you're like, okay, this is coming down. If you're like, oh, I'm going to take a buy on GJ, where are you going to buy? You buy here on the edges, right? Where support is, where you've marked support. You don't buy here. You buy on the edge, because if you buy on the edge, you're going to have a small stop. Okay. If you're wrong, okay, you're wrong. But if you're right, you're going to have a small stop, and you're going to get some nice pips. Okay.
Yeah, and say stuff just happened on GJ, for example, right now, live.
Exactly, live. So literally, the edge here, I've drawn that zone, okay? So look where I drew my zone. That's the edge there. 148.20 is the edge, okay?
Yeah.
30 pips that's dropped from there.
Yeah, we missed that, Simon.
We missed that, yeah, that's annoying.
Can you switch on lower time frame? Just 1 second.
Yeah. 15 good?
Yeah, also 5 minutes, please. Because, okay, there we go. Oh, it's perfect. Let me draw this one. Okay. Look at it.
Yeah.
This is perfect. So honestly, if you talk about candles, okay, I saw this momentum. Now it's trying to decelerate, okay, small body, and honestly, we had. Let me clear this. Look at the last bullish candle, the last white candle. So it's very small, and it tapped perfectly on the level, on the left. So why you didn't take sales here? Explain me why. Okay. So, and this is no drawdown trade. 30 pips with no drawdown. That's it. All you need, guys, really, is support and resistance, break and retest.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
No indicator, no EMAs, nothing.
Yeah. You can use EMAs, and we use EMAs, okay, from time to time. But, okay, so now this is what we got, right? 5 minutes, 15 minute, okay? So the 15 minute still at support, okay? Now what you're going to be looking for now is if this move's going to continue, you're going to be looking for something like, okay, break, retest. That's on the smaller time frames, okay? Because we've already identified that this was a 4-hour level or 4-hour zone up here, okay? So we've hit the 4-hour zone, looks like we're coming down. So now you drop into the smaller time frames and think, okay, well, I've missed the prime entry, the edge entry up here. If this is going to continue, where can I look to get in? So you can see we've already formed support here because we had resistance previously here. We broke through. This was support and it bounced and got that high. We're now sat at this support again. Okay? How do you monitor price? Is there any efficient time to spot the break? Okay, let's talk about questions later.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this is what I'm saying. So lower time frame entries. You've identified your higher time frame zone. You now drop down into the smaller time frames, and you can see it's starting to draw a picture of support and resistance on the smaller time frames. Okay. All right. So that's kind of as simple as we can put it, really. I mean, it is simple, right? Buy support, sell resistance.
It's very simple, yeah.
Okay. So, Andrea, do you want to talk trade management, stop loss, TP? Okay. So, yeah, trade management is going to be, I would say, depending on each person, is going to be slightly different, right? Because we've already touched on if you're taking these trades from the edges, your stop losses should be small. How you're going to manage those trades is 100% up to you as an individual. Like, what's your trading plan? I've said this in the group. What have you got trading plans? If you haven't, why not? Like, I know before I enter a trade, my plan always. I've got an exit plan. I've got an entry plan before I enter a trade. If you haven't, then you're going to enter a trade and you're going to be unsure whether to close, whether to hold. You need to have a clear idea of what you're going to do before you enter a trade, okay? So my particular strategy on entry is I take at least 3 positions when I enter a trade. So split my risk. So I risk 1 to 3% per trade, depending on the setup. So I will break that risk over 3 positions. What I will normally do is close 2 once I've got my 10 to 12 pips and leave 1 to run at break even. Okay.
Similar here. By the way, guys, free money from Simon, honestly, on that support. So thanks him.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see, it's pretty simple. And about trade management, I basically do the same. I split my risk in at least 2 and 3 position. And first, I try to take 10 pips. But if I see there's momentum, maybe I close just 1/3 of the position to let the other one for the other 10 pips. And then if I see the higher time frames are pushing in my direction, I try to scalp to switch the scalp to swing position. So then we should have to talk about the passion and mindset, and we will make another webinar for this maybe. But basically what I do is that another thing about the break even, for example, when I see the price going 7 pips ahead, so 7 pips through my take profit, I put a break even. Yeah, the most of the time I'm at break even after 7 pips in profit. And keep in mind though that this is for a scalp type of trading. Okay, so if you scalp, you put after 7 pips at break even. If you swing the position, of course you're not. So what I do is that basically you can keep the percentages. Like when you are 70% in gain, okay, you can put your stop at break even in order to have a risk-free trade, and then you can manage the trade however you want. And like Simon said, is definitely 100% based on yourself, okay, because if you are patient, if that day you are having a good day and you're happy, you're sad, or a bad day. So honestly, we can't have a precise rule about that. My only rule is that I have 10 pips stop loss every time, maximum. So sometimes 5, but maximum 10 pips stop loss. You have to set your percentage of risk, and then my fixed rule is like 70% of the take profit I put a break even. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe I got stopped out at break even most of the time. It could happen, but at least I don't lose money. And the last thing I'm saying is that if you don't lose in this game, you are still, if you are at break even in this game, you are in the top 5% of the traders. So be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I got stopped out 3 times at break even on GJ yesterday. It's frustrating, but it's break even, right? I didn't lose anything. Break even, small losses, big wins. That's what you got to think about. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And stop, guys, please, to see the break even like a loss. Really, I talk with people sometimes and say, "Oh, I got stopped out at break even, blah blah blah." But guys, break even is not bad, really, because if you trade a big account, honestly, break even is better than a loss. So even if you could earn 10,000, okay, euros, for example, in a trade, and oh damn, I have break even, you are still fine because you could have lost like 10k. Okay, so please be safe out there and consider break even like a stuff that can happen and a risk-free trade. So
yeah,
it's frustrating. Simon is right, but it's still good.
So Alan, I'm just reading your comment on this. So honestly, I can go for 10 pips easily, but in order to make good profit, I have to go with 1 lot and I get scared. Okay, so if you get scared because you're dropping a 1 lot or whatever, then you're risking too much. If you're worried about dropping a 1 lot and losing, then you're risking too much. Okay, every trade you enter, you should be happy. You should be going into it with the mindset that if I lose, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're going into a trade scared that you're going to lose what you're risking, then you're risking too much. So
yeah, the risk is very important also. Don't try to double your account in 2 days.
this is the thing. We see so many people, Instagram, right? People posting 100 lot trades. They
Yeah.
300,000 in a day, which is, most of it's bullshit, okay? Most of it is all lies. Don't be opening accounts, £100 accounts, £200 accounts, and think you're going to turn them to 10,000 in like a week. It's not going to happen. You're going to win a couple of good trades, think you're a superstar, and then you're going to lose it all.
Yeah.
Just follow the process, like keep your risk in check. Yeah, who's this? See you go, Joe. I flipped 100 to 1K in a week and lost it. Exactly. It's so, I get that all the time. People are always messaging me saying, oh man, I doubled my account, I tripled my account, and then I blew it all in one day. Because,
you know, it's like you have a business, and if you are new at that business, what you're gonna do is, like, if you're new at, for example, okay, sport, play tennis. What do? The first time you buy the most expensive stuff? I don't think so. Maybe you start with, you know, your racket, like, yeah, 20 pounds, and then you grow, okay? If you start a business, you don't you don't buy the best stuff to build your business on, and then maybe you fail, maybe you are not able to have that business. So same with trading. Why you should start with, I don't know, 10K, trying to double in the first month, or 1K and trying to double in 2 weeks? It's not gonna work. Definitely, you have to be here for the long run. This is a cliche, but literally, that's it.
it's so true. Like, you know, and some people do turn £100 into, I don't know, 3K, 10K, whatever, but they're not trading with proper risk management. And there's going to be a day, a week, a month where they're going to fuck it up. I guarantee it, 100%.
Yeah, sooner or later will happen.
Sooner or later, it's going to go wrong. Okay?
Definitely.
I mean, yeah, a few of the guys in the chat have backed up exactly what we've just said, okay?
Yeah.
You've got to follow the process. The risk management is key to keeping you in the game, okay? It doesn't matter whether you've got £100 account, a 10,000 or 1 million. If your risk management is solid, you're gonna stay in the game, okay? What's your success rate, guys? I mean, I think at the moment on my trading account, I've got about 50 to 70% success rate.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm the same. It's like 60, 65 here right now. But you know what? It's all about risk management. Yeah, someone said risk management is key. Yeah. So even if your win rate is shit, like 35, 40%, if you have 1 to 3 risk reward, you're still profitable. So honestly, right this morning in the London webinar, I was saying that honestly, when I started, I was like, oh, I wanna win a lot of trades, and I wanna lose, like, I wanna win out trades, 8 trades out of 10, okay, for example. But then I realized that this is not what matters, honestly. You have to, because let's say, I don't want to be in that position where every morning I wake up and say, okay, today I have to be 80% profitable, because it's stressful, guys, really. So I want to be right 50% of the time, but I know with my risk management, I will be profitable. That's it. I don't want to build pressure on myself. I don't want to be that guy that every morning has to be perfect, honestly. Make sense?
Yeah, Denica. So when I have multiple positions, do you have 10 stop loss for each position? Because that means you're risking 30 pips instead of 10. Yes, but like I said, I spread the risk across the trade. So if I'm risking 3%, it's 1% per position. If I'm risking 1%, then it's like, 33 point whatever percent a position. 0.33%, sorry.
Yeah, guys, keep in mind the risk must be the same every time. So
Yeah.
if your risk is one lot, for example, two position means 0.5, 0.5 each. That's it.
Yeah.
No two lots. So it's easy.
Yeah. And also another thing worth noting is don't trade the same position size as every trade, because if you trade, say you trade a one lot on one trade and you lose, okay, and then you're a bit scared, so the next position you take, 0.5 lot, yeah, and you win that trade, well, you're still losing, okay, because you're risking a different amount to what you were previously, so you're losing. If you stick to the same risk for every trade and you pick in good trades, you're always going to be ahead. You don't want to be risking more on one trade, risking less on the another. Like, you're going to get out of whack, if that makes sense. I mean, this GJ trade, I'm just watching this now. Why the hell did we not take this?
I was saying this. Like, we missed the sell and we missed the buys.
3 pip stop for,
14,
I mean, the
15.
risk reward of that's beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Andrea, do you want to go through your PDF?
Yeah, very quickly, basically, because we already talked about everything. So, yeah. Do you have it?
Oh, that's a good point. Let me see.
Justin is in GU buys.
GU buys.
Yeah, I caught it from the bottom.
Hey. So
I'm just trying to get this document.
Yep. So I want to show you guys the PDF I did about EMAs and naked chart. I've seen before on the chat here someone asking for EMAs. So with this PDF, it was just a quick tip to trade with EMAs and naked chart. So it explains where you have to trade with EMAs and when, and where and when you have to trade with naked chart. So basically, it's like basically the concept is when you have, for example, let me annotate here, consolidation, okay, on your time frame, you have to get rid of EMAs because these are confusing you.
And
the only reason.
Sorry, can you open the document? I'm having issues with it for some reason. And then I'll share your screen.
Yes. 1 second. 1 second. I can go through. Okay, here.
Okay,
I have to.
Guys, when you buy in support, do you wait for 5 minutes? No confirmation. No confirmation, right? You can look for a 1 minute candle if you want to, but look, this is support, okay? We don't need confirmation. This is support here, so we buy support, right? Stops just below support here. Could have got away with a 3 or 4 pip stop, and you're up 13, 14 pips. We don't wait for confirmation on support and resistance. because we know
Yeah,
if
exactly.
we're picking strong levels of support and resistance, it's going to bounce. Okay, Andrea, do you need me to?
Yeah, 1 sec. I download it. Wait. So I'm gonna open the doc. Okay. How can I share my screen?
Okay, let me just stop sharing. Let me see.
Maybe I have to request it. Let
You
me check.
request it, yeah. So,
Okay, share. Maybe. Okay. Okay, I have it. 1 sec.
yeah, there you go.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, I just. There we go. So, this is. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay, this is my PDF. So basically, what we need to know, you can download it for free. I put the link on my Telegram channel. So if you don't find it, write me on IG and I can send you the link. Basically, what I explain here is that if you have a trending market, you can use EMAs. Okay, there we go. So if you want to buy, for example, this market, and you want to wait for retracement, okay, first of all, you have to draw your zones, support and resistance, but you can even rely on EMA, okay? So for example, this is GJ M30 chart. Look at the retracement. Once we broke through this consolidation, okay, the retracement are right at the 14 EMA every time. So, and look, when we start to have a ranging market, the EMAs are becoming useless, basically. So what I explain in this PDF is like, if you have a trending market, you have to, yeah, you can use EMAs, but please don't let the EMAs take part of your support and resistance, okay? First, you have to draw your zones, and then see the EMAs like an help, okay, an helpful tool. So then use them in a trending market, bullish or bearish, it doesn't matter. But when you are in consolidation, for example, look at this. If you look at this GJ, H4 chart, you don't have any indication from the EMAs. So why you should keep your EMAs on your screen? It's like confusing, especially if you are a beginner. It's like you start to say, okay, here we broke, so I buy, but nope, come back. So here we broke, and no sense, honestly, in a ranging market. So it's only confusing. So get rid of them and try to trade naked chart. And with naked chart, I talk about the same chart that Simon had on his screen, the first GJ example. So no EMAs, no indicators, just your lines. So this is pretty your chart, okay? Then when you start to see, okay, the market is moving, okay, you can definitely add your EMAs, okay? For example, this one, this is trending, but look when the market is ranging, EMAs start to be a little bit confusing, okay? But in this case, this is a bearish market, so it have to identify a retracement. But look at it, the retracement appeared right at this broken support, like a retest, okay? You had a sort of double top, and then you went down. So after this webinar, you should be able to trade even without EMAs, honestly. Even if you see Weeks Don't Lie webinars, our London webinars with our chart with EMAs, honestly, sometimes we don't even mind about them. I think EMAs are useful when you are in the trade. When you are in a trade, for example, you can set targets, okay, with EMAs. That's it. But please, and I finished, please don't rely on EMAs randomly. Just because, oh, I look at Forex Family, 14 EMA, 50 EMA, 200 EMA. Okay, I start to buy, sell EMAs. Nope. You have to rely on the naked chart first. You have to be able to draw lines and support resistance and your zones. And then you can let the EMAs help you to understand basically your targets, your support and resistance, and that's it. So please, guys, don't say, okay, this broke the EMA, so I sell. No, you have to wait for your areas, okay, zones to be met, and then try to take trade. And if you look what we did in this webinar, for example, we never talk about EMAs. We talk about levels. Look at when now we share again Simon's screen, we will look at his GJ chart. Basically, no EMAs. You had a sell, profitable, and you had another profit on a buy on that support. That's it. Please let the EMAs help you, not dictate what you have to do on the market.
Exactly.
And that's it.
So yeah, make sure only use the EMAs if they line up with support and resistance, zones, then just use it as extra confirmation, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Shivan, sometimes I confuse what time frame is good for break and entry and retest. Every time frame does it, okay? The higher the time frame, the bigger moves you're going to get, but they happen on all time frames. So depending on whether you're looking for 2 pips, for 10 pips, for 20 pips, depends on what time frame you're going to trade. Okay?
Yep.
Let me just go back. Andrea, do you want to stop sharing? Let's go back.
Stop share. That's it.
Okay. So GJ's back at that support. Okay, so it looks like we're potentially going to break down here. That 148 zone has been rejected, but nothing to trade yet. All right, guys. So questions? Any particular questions?
Yeah, let's go through questions. Oh, sorry. I click on share, but I didn't want.
Where can we get the PDF? Okay, Andre will share his PDF on IG. Is that the best place?
Yeah, I guess on my Telegram maybe is the best to have the direct link, but if you want, you can write me DM on IG. Because if I share on IG, you can't click on it. So
TooManyPips, right? Is your Telegram?
Yeah, TooManyPips FX, but yeah, you can find with TooManyPips too. So yeah.
Okay. Here's your lowest time frame, 15 minutes. For break and retest, yeah, but I'll use the 1 minute, 5 minute to enter. Please, guys, don't ask for chart analysis here. Any question? Yeah, we're not going to go through different charts.
Yeah.
If you want to post your analysis in the Telegram chat, that's what it's for. I'll happily give my feedback on your analysis.
Yeah, guys, sorry. Simon has a chat, a very cool chat on Telegram, where really people can talk about trades, post analysis. So honestly, it's very, very, very useful. And so for me, it's a good way to learn every day, honestly, for free. So yeah, sorry, Simon, if I said that, but you have to join.
So, Yako, so how do you choose time to trade? What session? Okay, so again, this comes down to your trading plan, what suits you. depending on your time zone, you know, if you're in the US, you're probably not going to be trading London session because you're going to be asleep. I'm based in London, so I'm able to trade pre-London, London, and New York. Those are my trading sessions. So I will trade pre-London, so from like 6 a.m. till just after the open, and then if I get some trades off in London, great. You'll tend to then see markets consolidate until New York opens at like, you know, 1:30, and I'll look to trade New York. But you've got to come up with a trading plan that suits you. You don't want to be trying to trade London.
Exactly.
If that's 3 o'clock in the morning for you, like, that's not going to work. You've got to find a session that works for your life, basically. Okay.
Yeah, this is very important, guys. We have a very cool guy, Brian, on doing London. He's from Colombia, and why we trade London for him is like night, so he stays up till 5 a.m. But for him, he said this is the best time of the day to trade for me because no noise, very focused on it. So honestly, you really have to focus on yourself and asking, okay, what's my best time of the day to trade? If you have a part-time job, for example, in the morning, you could trade the afternoon session in your country. So maybe London, maybe New York. For me, it could be New York, for example. So I trade London because I'm, you know, when I wake up, I'm focused on things, no random stuff to think about, but really that has to suit to you. So, yep.
Yeah. So you've got to, exactly that. So you've got to choose what's best for you, like what works for you in your time zone, depending on where you are. We trade GJ a lot, and we know lots of the volume happens pre-London, London Open, and then New York Open. So we know from experience that that's the best time to be trading GJ because that's where the volume is the strongest.
Yeah.
Okay. Pre-open or after open? So I tend to trade pre-open and around the open in London.
Yeah. Oh, we have Brian here too. He's Brian MPC in the chat. So he's from Colombia. It's raining during night. So shout out to you.
We've got a guy from Australia as well who joins us in London.
Chris.
Evening time for him. So that works out well for him to trade London. When can I open more than position in one trade? What do you mean, Mohammed?
Well, you can always, until you respect your risk management. So if you split, for example, let me tell this. If you have, for example, 0.9 lot size, this is your risk, for example, with all your calculation about pips, you can open 3 position, 0.3 each, and you still have 0.9 lot size. So it's up to you. You can always, I always open more than one position just because I want to get a better entry maybe, or just to split the risk and to have different take profits. That's it.
Yeah, it comes down to your plan. It's so important. Like, everyone's different. Lots of people only open one position because that's what they do. I, over time, have realized that because I used to get in trades, open one position, close it once I've got 10 to 12 pips, and then it would run another 40 pips, and I'd be like, shit, I could have had 40 pips, but I've only closed 10. So I changed my plan and strategy that I would split it across multiple trades, so I always am able to keep one running in the case that price continues to move, because I didn't want to lose out on those pips.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. That was my strategy that I evolved, because I used to open one position per trade and that was it. Once it's closed, it's closed.
Yeah. Look at GJ though.
GJ is breaking down.
He's breaking down.
So keep your eye on this, guys. I said, what would we say? I'm expecting that daily to go bearish today.
Yeah.
Be aware, I think I noticed on the news that Theresa May's talking this afternoon or sometime soon. That could make it highly volatile, so just be careful. She's going to say something about Brexit. We could see a huge spike, so just be careful. No trades with no stop losses, all right?
No, on GBP pairs especially right now.
Yeah, I said that in one of the webinars the other day. Do not trade any GBP pairs without stop loss right now.
Yeah.
It's so prone to these huge spikes with Brexit stuff. All right. Any other questions?
I've seen one before, like,
Hey,
wait.
Simon, do you do top-down analysis even for scalping? Yeah, absolutely. So like we did in here, 4 hour, we identified that's the major zone. That's the major support. Then we've dropped down to the 15-minute and we can see minor support being formed, okay?
Yeah. And BPK wrote, so basically you guys look for 15-minute break and retest when price reject 4 hour daily levels, 1 hour, 2. Basically, it's not about 15 minutes. It's simply 4 hours daily, 1 hour levels. And then you use the time frame you want, honestly. Maybe you can use also 1 minute. But yeah, you wait for, usually if I trade retest, maybe I try from 5-15 minutes to take them. So
guys, if we weren't on this webinar, we would have sold it here.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's our 4 hour level. Because we weren't really paying attention, that would have been our first sell, okay? Now we're breaking down. I'm going to see how this reacts. We might get something on a retest of this level. Okay, so we broke.
Keep in mind on GJ retest could be very deep. So
yeah, we've broken this 15-minute minor support potentially. So see what happens. This could be a nice sell for continuation. Is it a case of getting used to buying the bottom of a bearish candle or selling the top of a bullish candle? Yeah, exactly that. And that's what I'm saying. It's going to feel wrong doing it because you're just seeing momentum strong into these levels and you're going to be initially scared to do the opposite, right?
Yeah.
But you've got to be, and you will, as you do it more and more. Look, what I say is practice, small penny lots, practice, see what happens, okay? Don't be like practicing dropping, 5 lots, 10 lots, whatever. Practice it first. As you get more confident with it, you can then start to increase your risk. But definitely, it's going to feel wrong to start off with because you're in effect doing the opposite to what price is doing. So what possibly could be wrong? I have trades for a while, support and resistance, but still I get stopped out often than I win. Okay.
Maybe your entries.
Yeah, maybe your entries aren't good, or maybe your support and resistance are not quite right.
Yeah, maybe. And also, if in this case we are at M15 chart, okay, so don't look at retracement in 1 hour, of course. Okay, we have to be clear about this. So if this is a 15 region, okay, zone, now you have to see a pullback on the M5, M1. Maybe M1 is good for your entry in this case. Then if you look at, okay, so because for me, you can see it's easier now to take a retest on the M5, for example, in this case, for a retest, because maybe the next 1 hour will make just an upper week and then go down, okay? There we go, exactly.
How many pairs do we watch at once? So, I mean, I've got a few charts open here, and for major levels, for things like this, I'll set alerts on like Normally, really, I'm only concentrating on one pair. GJ mainly. I look at EJ as well sometimes. Oh man, this chart looks messy. So I took a sell this morning on EJ here.
Yep.
Andrea, you took one as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, at 80, honestly, because it was at London Open. Your trade was a pre-London, so it wasn't there.
Because it's
and I see GJ and EJ for me, honestly, basically.
How many screens do I have? I have 3 screens. Not that it really matters, but I have 3.
One screen here, so yeah, you can do. I know people trading from his phone, so honestly, it doesn't matter.
You only need 1 screen, but that's just the way I like to have more than one because I've got multiple accounts, so it's nice to have 2 open.
Yeah, I will buy one more just to manage other stuff and have the chart on the first one, especially during the webinar.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can say 2 are enough, honestly.
Yeah, more than enough. Okay. Anyone else? Any other questions? If not, we'll start to think about wrapping up. So we've got the Telegram groups, both of us, Andrea, myself.
Yeah.
You can ask questions in the chat. You know, we post analysis when we can. We're open to questions. Yeah, you'll be able to rewatch this. It's being recorded, so I will upload it to my YouTube channel. I'll post the link in the Telegram group. I'm about to catch the retest and sell GJ. Okay. We get paid to wait. Roger Banks, exactly that. Exactly. Yeah, if you're trying to trade every 1 minute candle, you're crazy. You've got to wait for the setup.
Definitely.
All right. Andrea, anything to add?
No, for me. Honestly, I think this was a very clear session. So honestly, we came through a lot of topics, and so guys, if you don't have questions, we're fine, I guess.
It's up to you guys. Like me and Andrea enjoy sharing, you know, our experience and knowledge.
Yeah.
So if it's something you have gained some insight to, then we're probably happy to do some more going forward. It's really up to you. It's going to be down to demand. If people are interested, then we'll do it. If they're not, then we'll happily just do what we do and trade by ourselves. No
yeah.
How long did it take me to become consistent? I would say 2 years.
Yeah, 1 year and a half here, something like that. So yeah, basically.
Because I used to trade all kinds of different things, different setups, different fib levels, different, like I didn't have one set strategy. Okay, I used to try and do 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 different things. So I had no structure really to my trading. I just used to do different things all the time, not based on anything in particular. As soon as I started to, do you know what? I think I became consistent more when I created a plan for myself, because previously I never had any plan. I just would trade on what I thought was going to happen. As soon as I had a plan, set discipline, I'm only going to trade then, I'm only going to risk this much, I'm only going to, you know, do that. That's when I started seeing results improve.
Yeah, same here. Once your mind can understand what you're doing, you can be profitable. But in order to do this, you can't switch strategy every time.
No, just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Guys, after this webinar, if you will stick to support resistance and break and retest, in 6 months you will come back saying, okay guys, thank you, I'm profitable.
How long have you guys been trading? So I've been trading like 3 years, 3 and a bit, 4, 3 and a, I'm not really sure, I can't remember. About 3 or 4 years.
Almost 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, I joined the FX family this June, expected to be profitable in 1 month. Here I am today, still not profitable. I guess I have to put in. Yeah, you do. It's like, it's not going to happen overnight. You will have a light bulb moment.
Yeah, guys.
Okay? You'll be like, all of a sudden, you'll be like, shit, what am I doing? Like, you will all of a sudden be like, you know what you need to do, okay? Most of the people can trade, right? You can draw support and resistance, you can draw zones, you can do all that. It's putting it into practice is what is the hard bit, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's just about break and retest. There's
almost.
There's 3 million different strategies out there, and lots of people trade different strategies and are profitable. Okay, this isn't a new thing. Break and retest isn't a new thing. This is just how the markets have always worked. Okay, it's just the way the markets flow. So this has been happening since the beginning of time. If you look at candle charts.
Yeah, it's nothing new.
It's not new, okay?
Nope.
All right. Yeah, Eric, stick with it. Keep doing the same thing over and over again. I'm sure by now you know what to do. Support and resist.
Yeah, that's it.
Break
it's all about goals also, yeah.
Just keep doing it. Yeah, set realistic goals. Don't be doing, don't be aiming for 20% in a day.
Trying to go playing golf. Go playing golf and say, okay, in 1 month I want to be Tiger Woods.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the same thing.
Shivam, if I was trading, would I be taking this GJ retest? Probably. Because
probably after these 5, I mean.
4 hours. Look. I don't like that the 4 hours got no top wick on it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably no, I wouldn't, because this 30 minutes not closed below it. Yeah, there you go. iPhone. He'd wait for a 15-minute. I'd wait for a 30-minute. It doesn't look like he's going to do that, okay? So, no, I'm not taking it. What I would have wanted is for this 15-minute or 30-minute candle to close, like, down here below.
Yeah, at least.
When it came up here and retested, I'd be looking to sell it, okay?
Yeah, we just closed the M15, for example, but it's not below the zone, so yeah.
Yeah. There's every chance it's going to come down and fill that 15-minute wick, okay? But that's my set rules, okay? So I have a rule. I think I sent my trading plan in the group, but I have a rule that says wait for a 15 or 30-minute candle to close above or below support and resistance before taking the retest. Okay, so that's my rule.
Definitely.
Can we schedule a live trade session? Talk us through it. Don't have to be today. Yeah, we can look at doing something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult, but we will try.
Well, we can do a live session, but there's no guarantees there's going to be any trade setups. Okay, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to do a session and just click buy and sell just because.
Yeah, exactly. And also for you guys, I guess a live session is not so useful at the beginning because you would stay there, honestly, you would stay there like, okay, Simon said buy, okay, Andrea said sell, okay, I sold, I bought, and you have to practice for yourself. This is a solo sport, okay?
Yeah.
So this is literally like golf, okay? You can't say, okay, can we play golf together? Yeah, sure, we can. I can tell you how to shot the ball, but at the end you have to practice by yourself. And same stuff here, honestly.
Yeah. Simulator. I think someone asked about simulator earlier. Soft 4 FX.
Yeah,
FX is the best one.
Yeah.
We use that.
Literally.
That's good.
Definitely the best.
Definitely recommend using a simulator to test these break and retests and bottom resistance. No harm in that whatsoever. If anyone's trading demo, don't. I don't recommend anyone trading demo.
No,
even
guys.
if you trade a really small penny lot account, do that. Do a live account rather than demo.
Yeah, it's like to do a business with fake money, okay? Would you do it? I don't think so.
Yeah, you won't trade the same on a demo account as you do on a live account, okay? Your emotions won't be the same because you won't have any. What is a good broker for a small account? Most brokers will accept, I don't know, I think most of them minimum £50, $50.
Yeah.
So whichever. I can recommend you some good brokers if you want, but most brokers will, allow a small amount. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, simply don't go exotic, guys. I mean, don't go with strange stuff like, oh, I've seen on internet something that advertising this broker. Stay with the most famous one, okay?
Yeah, you want good customer service, good withdrawals, easy deposits, like
exactly,
good rates, low commissions. Like you got to be smart when you're picking a broker, right? Like picking an internet provider at home, right? You want the best one, the fastest one. All right. Okay. Doesn't look like we've got any more questions, so I think we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone, thanks for joining. Hope it was useful. Any questions, we're here on Instagram or the chat on Telegram.
Yeah.
Just be smart with your trading, risk management, nothing stupid. That's it.
That's it, guys. Thank you for being here. Yes, it's being recorded, so we'll be on Simon YouTube.
Yeah, I'll post later on the recording.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you,
Have
guys.
a good day.
Cheers, Simon.
All right. See you, Andrea. Bye.
So, bye.